program under the direction of music teacher Mr. Derek Landano. We have fourth grade scouts, Audrey Stanley, Liam Burton, and Finley Wincombe, who will be holding our flags for the Pledge of Allegiance and our national anthem. Please rise and remove your hats at this time for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please keep your hats removed for the Star Spangled Banner, and please feel free to join us. Mr. Carbonell will now present the Candy Champagne Award recipient.
No, it's fine. Yeah. Hello, my name is Mr. Carbonell. I'm a special education teacher here, and I work with a lot of these kids here. I'm known for helping kids and telling terrible jokes. All right. Okay, the Candace Champagne Memorial Award is presented each year to a student that has overcome obstacles and adversity while being persistent in their quest for all-around success at Maple Avenue Elementary School. This award is dedicated to the memory of Candace Champagne, who dedicated many years to the Goffstown School District and children in her role as a physical education teacher. As we all know, the obstacles and adversity that we have had since March 2020, I don't even like saying that date, is unprecedented. Like all students, this student has persevered through remote learning, many Zooms, many Zooms and more Zooms, and a hybrid schedule. This year's recipient is an extraordinary young man, and he's a great kid. I'd like to, Brandon Bovair, come on down. Sorry about that, this guy's come so far, he's amazing. And he plays the cello. Okay, you can't keep the award, Brendan. Okay, go see Mrs. Santa, buddy. All right, thanks. Yeah, the tears got to me, sorry.
job, first grade. And now we'll have a Memorial Day message by veteran and special education teacher, Mr. Larry Carbonell.
Okay, I promise not to cry on this one, okay? All right. So I'm going to turn around because these kids don't want to see you know what the whole time. All right. So, but before I say, I'm Mr. Carbonell, as I said before, and I was honored that Mr. Lindano asked me to give this speech as the guest speaker to talk about Memorial Day. Now, I don't think you had anybody else in line, but that's okay. All right. So I'm going to turn around. Okay, kids, can you all see me? Okay, so technically summer doesn't start until June 20th. No, guys, no thank you. But many consider Memorial Day weekend the start, okay? I mean, look at this weather here, it's beautiful. Many families will heat up the grill, head to the beach or lake, and of course, the worst part of it is we don't have school Monday. Now, but listen up, Memorial Day has the word memory in it. Everybody say the word memory. Okay. Now, because we remember the people who lost their lives in war or conflict, and veterans who served our country. All right. So, what does Memorial Day mean to me? When I was your age, is anybody here in grades 1, 2, 3, and 4? Anybody in that grade? Raise your hand. Okay. All right. Just making sure. Now, when I was in grades 1, 2, 3, and 4, kids, I was like you, all right? I like to read. I loved recess. Raise your hand quietly if you like recess. All right, put it down. I also got in trouble for, I know it's going to be hard for some of my colleagues to believe this, talking too much and too many jokes, kids. Can you believe that? All right. Okay, all right. Now, raise your hand if there's any Cub Scouts or Scouts and Girl Scouts, any of them. So when I was your age, kids, I would march in a parade every year, and I'm older, and I would march with veterans in my Cub Scout troop, all the way till I was in high school in Boy Scouts. The veterans that I were not only veterans, they were our neighbors. They fought in World War I, World War II, Korean War, and Vietnam. Yeah, it was a lot of wars. Good point, thanks. Now, but I would ask them, I was very interested, so I would talk to these soldiers, or sail, I'm former Army, so if I say soldier all the time, no offense, Navy or Marines, or Coast Guard, okay? All right, or Airmen. So I would ask them about their service. They would tell me, the World War II, they were in big ships all across the ocean. They fought in battles that they were so cold that their feet would be cold for years afterwards. And there were women that served too. Raise your hand if you're a girl. All right, thank you. Put them down. All right. So women started serving in the Army. And my mom's aunt went from a small town like Goffstown. Raise your hand if you live in Goffstown, New Hampshire. Okay, good. All right. And she went to a big city in part of the waves in World War II, and it was called San Francisco. And she wrote a letter to us, and listen to this, kids, this is so funny. She said, "Dear Mom and Dad, I'm so glad that I can do my part to help my country. I discovered a new food that we never had on the farm in Vermont. It's called pizza." She had never had pizza before. It was pretty cool. So, okay, now, raise your hand, kids, if you ever get sad. Okay, put them down. So, they would tell me funny stories about their times in the war, but they did not talk about, maybe because I was a kid, they didn't like to talk about some of the people they left behind that passed away. Do you know why? Because it made them sad. It made them sad. Because these were their friends that would fight. And they passed away on the battlefield. It made them sad. They didn't like to talk about it that much. Also, kids, now raise your hand if you're in 3rd grade. Okay. My grandfather, in the Depression, the 1930s, he was in 3rd grade, and he was very poor, and he went swimming. He caught a disease called polio, And when it was time to join up in the Army, he couldn't serve. He felt really bad. So there were people that wanted to serve and they couldn't. Okay. Now, my own time. All eyes on me, guys. Hey. Okay. Thank you. So, let's fast forward to college. I'm in college. My hair's long. I'm looking like a punk a little bit, dressing around. So then, my buddy, Mike Hopless, goes up to me. Hey. I'm like, hey, Mike, what's up? He goes, hey, you should join the National Guard. I go, you're pretty weird. You got long hair, but you know a lot about World War II. I'm like, all right. So I met a recruiter, and if anybody's been in, you talk to a recruiter, next thing you know, you signed all the papers. So I signed the papers, and I joined the Massachusetts National Guard. So Miss Pruno called me a veteran. I don't really consider myself a veteran. I was in during peacetime. I went 1 weekend a month, 2 weeks during the year, but the thing is, I spent 2 summers at Fort Benning, Georgia, in basic training. Who raise your hand if you've ever heard of basic training? Okay, it's sort of like school. Raise your hand if you've ever been to school before. Okay, good. Okay, so, hands down. So, kids, basic training is a lot like school, except for you get yelled at nonstop and you do a lot of push-ups. So, okay, sounds like this. All right, so, one funny story, guys. Hey, excuse me. One funny story. When I was in basic training, I was supposed to be cleaning the barracks. Now, any parents, anybody here in the former service, raise your hands. All right. Anybody? Hey, let's give them a round of applause. Thanks. So, if anybody's been in training, cleaning the barracks can get a little monotonous sometimes. So I was sweeping the floors, buffing, and I was telling jokes. Do you guys know I like to tell jokes? Okay. All right. So I'm telling a joke, and I'm like this, and all of a sudden I see my buddies behind me go like, hey, watch out. So behind me I hear, excuse me, Private Carbonell. I'm like, oh boy. He goes, do you think you're funny? I go, yes, Drill Sergeant. I'm like, oh man, I'm dead. All right, so he goes, you're funny, huh? I'm like, yes, Drill Sergeant. He goes, attention. So I had to go to attention. Then I did a half right. Then I knew that means push-ups. And in front of all my platoon of 30 guys, I had to tell jokes until all the drill sergeants laughed. Let's just say I was there for 45 minutes. Okay, I learned my lesson. But my time in the service, it taught me a lot of things. Now, those who serve, you learn patience, right? Hurry up and wait. Remember that, right, guys? But it made me physically strong. It made me mentally strong. It felt good serving my country. Now, I left after 7 years. I got a job working weekends. And it just didn't work out. Since I left there, there's been more wars. Iraq and Afghanistan, we've had more veterans. So kids, do you want to hear the good news or bad news first? Okay, all right. Bad news, you all have homework for me. Okay. All right. The good news is you don't have to write it. All right, so, excuse me. All eyes on me, guys. Come here. All eyes. Thank you. This weekend, Guard people who passed away, all right? And not only think about them, think about their buddies they left behind, their families they left behind. Think about anybody who has served. Remember them. Remember people who wanted to serve and they couldn't, okay? Well, guys, you're a good audience. Thank you very much. Have a great day, guys. All right, thank you.
First grade, sit down. All right.
Excellent job, second grade. We now have a wonderful fourth grade student that would like to come say a few words about her grandfather. I'd like to introduce Fiona Sullivan.
My grandpa, Jim Hall, was in the Vietnam War. He served in the Army. I think that he was brave. I also think that he did a good job fighting for our freedom.
Fabulous job, third grade. To end the program, we have the fourth grade singing Stars and Stripes, and then all classes will sing Taps. We will have a moment of silence before we start dismissing classes back to their rooms. Just a few announcements before we move on to fourth grade. If you would like to take your child home with you at the end of the program, please follow their class back to the classroom. We will be dismissing them by class, so please listen for their class. Thank you to the students, staff, and Mr. Landano who put together today's program. And thank you to the men and women who serve and have served our great country.
We will now observe a brief moment of silence.
Nice job, fourth grade. And that concludes our performance for today. We will be dismissing grade levels by classroom, so please listen for your class and follow them back to their classroom for dismissal.
And if we can just have one round of applause. Ms. Pruno was put on the spot to do this morning. And she was instrumental in my help of moving this from the front driveway to back here and organizing it all. So I'm very appreciative to Ms. Pruno.
We're going to start with grade 1. Mrs. Berg, Mrs. Botto, Mrs. Burby, Mrs. Kendall, and Mrs. Testa.
Hey, how are you?
All right, I'm gonna go.